Yes, guys, welcome along once more to Live at 5 here on DR Sports with myself, AGT, a jubilant AGT, I must say. But who am I joined with? I hear you asked to look at the games from last night, but also build up to the massive fixtures tonight in the Champions League. And, of course, all the big news, just like Jose Mourinho back at Benfica 25 years after he left. That and more to come here on DR Sports Live at 5. Myself, AGT, I've got Laurie in the building and a Live at 5 regular now. It's Dylan. How are we, fella?
I'm alright, I'm feeling alright. Sad that my team's not in the Champions League, but I'm actually enjoying watching it as just a fan of football, to be fair. Some good fixtures, good games yesterday, more good games tonight, good games on Tuesday, just good games all round. Good
games all round, that's what we've got in the Champions League, and that's what we had last night in Europe's elite competition. Smash that like button, get your comments in. How did your team perform last night and what you're looking forward to seeing tonight? As we see some massive fixtures in the Champions League tonight, including Manchester City versus Napoli and the Tino Asprilla remake of 1996-97. It's Newcastle versus Barcelona, people. So I can't wait to watch that tonight. Sit down and watch that bad boy. Let's touch on what's happened so far in the Premier League this week. We'll start with Arsenal. We spoke about them on the show. We eulogised, really, in terms of it's the perfect away European performance, isn't it? 2-0 win away at Atletico to kick off the campaign. Clean sheet. You know, impacts from the subs. All rosy.
Yeah. I mean, first and foremost, with games like this, it's always important to get a good result. And you can't ask for much better than going away from home in a place that is quite hostile and winning, not conceding. Like you said, 2 subs coming on, having clutch moments. I've got to say, though, and I obviously don't want to downplay the win, but I wasn't overly impressed by Bilbao. Arsenal will no doubt face sterner challenges in the Champions League. And our performance, well, we didn't really have to get out of second gear to beat them. There is this little school of thought amongst some of the guys here at AFTV that Bilbao are a really good side. I didn't see that at all. I mean, Man United, they
were really, they had some injuries when we played them last season, but they were very underwhelming. We beat them, I think, 7-1 on aggregate.
Yeah, I mean, I actually got stick for saying that they're not that good a side, but I'm standing by that. I mean, we all saw, okay, Nico Williams, who's easily their best player, he wasn't playing, so I'm sure that made a difference. But I've got to say, man, they were not very good. In fact, when we did the watch-along, I described them as Brentford in disguise. And then one of the guys on the panel said, actually, they're not even as good as Brentford. And I thought, you know what, he's probably right. But I don't want to sound churlish. I'm happy for the win. Like I said, 3 points, 2 goals scored, none conceded. Happy days.
Yeah, it's one of those places you kind of just want to get there, get the result and get out of. Absolutely. Because I think it was Robbie who said it was a very intense atmosphere, similar to that of like an English kind of game, maybe between a mid-table kind of team and a top team fighting.
Brighton away kind of game, it feels like.
I'd say a lot more intimidating than Brighton. I'd say maybe like an Everton away or something like that. Again, 50,000 there. They're no joke. They're a good team.
By all accounts, I spoke to Robbie and Sessu, who both went to the game, and they said the atmosphere was quite intense, quite hostile, actually. But
2 goal scorers, 2 substitutions. You got to give Arteta a bit of credit for that,
definitely.
Dylan.
He made them late, though, didn't he? It was 70th minute, wasn't it?
Well, the first one was on 60.
Oh, was it 60?
Yeah,
okay.
Which for Arteta, mate.
But I was say that's early because he waits a
Yeah.
long time to make his subs quite often.
And both, to be fair to him, both substitutions scored and assisted.
It's good for Martinelli's career, like this season, I think, like kind of coming in and having an impact that early.
Definitely.
Being like, because obviously his was the first goal, wasn't it, as well? So that was really the deadlock breaker. Exactly. He's through on goal. We've seen so many times Martinelli gets through on goal and he hits the post or his shot stuffled or something, but that finish, I think, was quintessential good Martinelli back when he was when he's first starting for Arsenal a few seasons ago. I think it's good for him after... Obviously, Eze's come in ahead of him. He's now second, third choice on that left wing. But it shows, he's still got something.
No, it's great for him. I mean, Arda's one of those that said, look, he needs a little spell on the bench because he's not been performing to the levels we expect. And this has been going on for some time now. A time on the bench is not always a bad thing. A chance for a player to reflect, work on their game, see the game from a different angle, being on the bench, observe things. And like I said, he come on and got his goal. Got to say, though, the keeper was, I don't know what happened to him there. In fact, he was probably at fault for both goals. But hey, You can't complain too much. But that first one in particular, it just went under his body. No good keeper should be caught napping like that. And having said that as well, that keeper, Unai Simon, apparently he keeps Raya out of the national.
Yeah, he's the preferred choice in Spanish goalkeeping terms.
If
anyway,
he's
the number
keeping
one.
Raya out, mate, there must be like some other performances where he's really stellar.
I think maybe
Based on
because he
what I
plays
see.
in Spain, he's probably
That's
got
what I'm
that
thinking.
Spanish media backing as well, because he's there every week, right?
But even the second goal, Trossard's goal, he flapped that in as well.
Yeah, could have done better there. I mean, you're right. On another day, that ends 0-0, and the keeper makes 2 big saves, and we're talking about maybe a frustrating result. But no, it was a very positive one. Arsenal now go back into a very assertive place in the Champions League group phase table. Currently, after only one game, we know it's only one game, but they're sitting in 4th place right now, behind Bayern Munich, Union SG. Right, who've got an amazing result, and of course Paris, whose goal difference separates them at the top. Which, how many times have we said that in recent times? So, yeah, listen, big result that for Arsenal. Great start, and then who's next at the Emirates?
City.
No, in the Champions League though.
Oh, you know what? I'm not so sure about that.
Get it up. Tell me, have a little look. A couple of chats to read out. Liverpool. Hang on. Olympiacos at home.
Yeah.
There you go. Is that AGT who is breathing on the mic? I don't know.
I think it actually might have been me.
Was it you?
Yeah.
Okay.
My bad.
Yeah, maybe don't do that. I know it looks like you sausage, but less of that ASMR. Well, it actually wasn't me. Melo, big up to you.
I'll hold my hands up. I'm pretty
less
sure
of that ASMR. Yeah, all of that. He's better than Raya, says the inevitable Mo Salah.
Listen, he may well be. All I'm saying is, based on what I've seen of him,
didn't shirt when the two
look
came
like it the other
up
night.
against each other.
But it's
I
only one
agree.
game, so
Absolutely. Interesting chat here from Unko, who says you guys need to talk about how good Gravenberch was last night. We'll get into that for sure. But let's get a look at the other results before that, including a slim win for Tottenham, which, I mean, look, they would have taken it, wouldn't they, if you offered it to them at the start of the day. But an own goal, again, just about doing enough, keeping a clean sheet to get the 3 points on the board. And at this stage of the competition, that's all it's about.
I mean,
It's
we had
4
Abby on the show
clean sheets
yesterday.
in 5 games for Thomas Frank. At Spurs.
Who would have
After
thought
their
that?
Mess, their mess last season. Abby was on the show yesterday and we were speaking about it, and she was like, it's unfathomable. She was like, this is amazing every time we don't concede a goal, and she's just not seen it in the last 2 years with Spurs. And it's the same defensive, it's the same players that were there last season. It was Van de Ven, Romero, Jed Spence obviously now being really well, and Pedro Porro. Same players that you were seeing
I think that
under
speaks
Ange last season.
volumes.
And then you
at
see
the
Ange's
manager.
result last night, by the way. They lost 3-2 to Swansea in the Carabao Cup. 2 goals from Swansea, the 93rd and 97th minute.
Great goals as
Very
well.
Angeable, great goals.
Big result that for Tottenham, as you say. It continues that stability defensively that they've got at the minute. 4 clean sheets in 5. Real Madrid, Marseille. I've got to admit, I was playing tennis and I got home. I watched this game. And I was hate watching, I'll be honest. I wanted Marseille to win that game. Trent obviously goes off injured after 4 minutes. It looks like a muscle injury as opposed to maybe a hamstring tear. But Tim Weah scores for the first time as a American ever at the Bernabeu. Did you know that? 22 years after his dad, George Weah, scored against them for PSG in the Champions League. So 22 years. It was on the 22nd minute as well. And what number does he wear?
22.
He does. Just a little fact. And then Mbappe scores 2 penalties. Of course he does. The second one, I mean, there's Laurie and Dylan. There's been some shocking, in my opinion, decisions in this game week 1 of the Champions League, and it's not even over yet. We might see more tonight. But I don't know if you saw the penalty for the Real Madrid second goal. I mean, it was laughable. It was laughable. How they gave that as a penalty, I don't know.
Yeah.
And this was obviously with 10 men, Carvajal, with all that experience, the in-game management that he's got, the leadership, the captain's armband, he wears that now.
He's quite an aggressive figure, isn't he?
He is. But he's the one that's coming to replace Trent with his injury, or just move Trent along, and Trent can't seem to get in the team at the minute. But that red card is almost inexcusable for a player of his calibre, experience and leadership.
But I'm also not surprised, because I've seen Carvajal before. When we played him, he was having a go at Saka.
Yeah.
And
he was pushing him around a bit, wasn't he?
So he's got that in him.
But I mean,
So,
to throw your head, of course you're getting sent off. Obviously, the player stays down for a long time to make sure that the VAR check is. They look.
Yeah,
He's still on the floor. He must be really hurt.
He did go
They
down.
take as long as they need.
He
guys,
barely
as long as they need.
He barely made contact. But as soon as you do that, you are basically saying, "Send me off."
Exactly.
Are you not?
We've seen it with an Arsenal player, Pepe, against Leeds, remember?
I do.
Seasons ago.
Chucked his nut out.
And he didn't, to be fair to Pepe that day, he didn't even show it. He just more like leaned his head towards the Leeds player, who then went down like he'd been hit by a primetime Mike Tyson. And then,
Which he certainly hadn't. Which he certainly hadn't. Are we all in agreement that the round belongs really to Borussia Dortmund and Juventus?
What,
4-4. I mean, this is unbelievable. If you look at the minutes of the scorers here.
Yeah. No.
Well, I mean, that's up there as well. But I think an 8-goal thriller is.
This game
you can't look past that.
No, but Liverpool won there.
And again, a shocking penalty decision in this game as well.
Game of the week so far.
Right.
End-to-end drama. Kenan Yildiz.
You see the quality of the goals.
This was a goal to take it to 1-1. What a strike that is. Vlahovic getting to Lloyd Kelly. A bit of poetic justice there, because the penalty that Dortmund scored was from a handball by Lloyd Kelly. Again, did you see it?
I did.
Absolutely
never a
farcical.
handball.
And that's why last night, when they gave the penalty at Anfield and then they went to go and check it, it was never a penalty. It hit his chest, obviously. Why would you even... It's ridiculous. But in the Champions League, these are the kind of handballs, the kind of offences that get you penalties. Even if it ricochets off your back, you have no idea where the ball is, it hits your arm. Lloyd Kelly, I think, was hugely injusticed there. But then 10 minutes later, he scores the goal. Don't forget, a centre-back who played for Bournemouth, went to Newcastle, didn't really work out up there. But I think he scored 2 in 2 as a centre-back now for Juventus. And how fitting is it that he scores that 96th minute equaliser after being so wrong 10 minutes before?
And also the fact that Vlahovic came off the bench, and a month ago it was Juventus were considering terminating his contract because they just didn't want him at the club. His wages were too high. He's on the bench, comes on, scores twice, and gets a lovely assist as well. It's like he completely turned that game around for Juventus. But despite the fact that just a month earlier the club were thinking of literally handing him his cash and letting him go early because they just didn't want him.
Yeah, I mean, some turnaround in that game, end to end. The thing about Dortmund, and I think we've, as maybe outsiders, for years and years, Dortmund give you some of the most entertaining games. They did it in the mid to late 90s. They won a Champions League in that fashion in 97, 96, 97. Jurgen Klopp goes there again. The madness carries on, gets to another Champions League final, loses it. This team will always score goals, but they will always concede goals as well. That's the problem, isn't it?
Dortmund heritage.
I mean,
the Tottenham of
a little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit. If you look at the numbers, a little bit. But again, I think that was the game of the game week for me. Last night I was at the game at Liverpool. I think it was.
Tell me about it.
Well, it was one of those first halves where I looked at it and thought that's our best half of the season so far, because all the games that we've won, which is all of them, but obviously they've all come so late and been so dramatic. There's been really amazing spells and periods within the first half or the second half where you almost start pulling away. But then to concede 2, it's a bit of a merry-go-round at the minute in terms of we get to a certain stage in the game, we have chances. Mo Salah gets that golden opportunity from 6 yards out, which would have been a really clever Florian Wirtz assist. He smashes the post. That would have taken us to 3-1. The game's done then. There's no way they're coming back after that. And then all of a sudden it's 2-2. And I thought the first half Liverpool was a lot different to the second half Liverpool. We were a lot more direct in the first half. In the second half, we definitely allowed them to put this. You know, when you're 2-0 up, you're cruising, you miss a chance to go 3-0, they get a goal, 2-1, and then they start stud rolling the ball around, they're taking more time with their passes, the fans are getting up a bit, they're smashing into tackles, they're winning the tackles, and all of a sudden you go from the mentality of, right, 1-0, 2-0, 5 minutes, we're going to smoke them, 2-1, control the game, go for the third, you miss the third shot to score, and all of a sudden it's 2-2 and you're thinking, how has this game got to this stage again?
2-0 was the most dangerous scoreline in football.
I think mentally it must be,
which
because
always kind of struck me as a bit incongruous.
It is until you get that third goal.
Yeah.
Suddenly
that 3-0 kills the game
you
off.
can actually just put your feet up.
I mean,
most
2-0, you get that first goal. I'm pretty sure the stats are leaning in towards the team that actually score that first goal and they're still 2-1 down to actually go on and draw a win. So I was disappointed in spells that we allowed them to kind of build their confidence. Listen, I'm looking at the stats now, and I was there last night. Apart from the 2 goals, they did nothing. They had 2 chances pretty much and scored 2 goals with them. They had a couple of shots that, maybe, semi-troubled Alisson. But we had 20, and I thought with the chances that we had, I think, I counted them up, we should have won that 6-2 last night. But we've made it difficult for ourselves again. The Simeone thing. Where do you guys stand on this? And I'll give you my.
Let's talk about Virgil after.
Oh yeah, great finish.
No, I'm a big admirer of Virgil.
I just think he's the best.
I just think he's a man's man. I
just think he's the absolute best. And I know it sounds so biased, but he's still playing. It's not like he retired last year, and we're looking back on it through recent tinted glasses. He's been doing this for Liverpool for 8 years now, 9 years.
And also at one point coming off the back of his injury as well.
And no one thought he would
that's
get
an
back
injury
to
that
this
can
level.
finish a career, but he's come back and he's back to his best.
Last week when I was doing the boxing show, and I know I'm digressing, but I'm going to get there. I spoke about Terence Crawford being able to go against the odds and beat Canelo. One of the things I cited is that Crawford has what I call an elite mentality. And I would say the same thing about Virgil. He has what I call an elite mentality. When the moment required it, when someone was needed to step up in those final seconds, it was of absolutely no surprise that he was a man that got the header and gave him the win, because that's what he does.
Not the first time as well, Laurie.
Yeah.
He's won cup finals doing that.
No, that's why I say that, because he's done it so many times.
He almost owns the responsibility, even though he's not got a number 8 or a number 9 or a number 10 on the back of his shirt, or a number 11 for that matter. He almost, if there is an opportunity where the corner can come in, a cross can come in, he's like offensively and defensively in the area, he's like a magnet to the ball. Szoboszlai, and I was very critical of Liverpool's corners in the last few years, to be honest, in terms of, I know we scored a couple, but I'll be honest, Robertson's corners are no good. Trent's weren't great. 1 in every 15 would probably, something would actually happen from them. But Szoboszlai last night, he puts that ball down, and the technique to kind of, it's not just a direct kind of ping, it's a slowly curved kind of ball out, and Van Dijk's getting manhandled all over the place. Le Normand was the one all over him. He goes, see you later, bang. And I'm just like, that is Captain Fantastic.
And that's what, if you remember, there was a game that Liverpool had towards the end of last season.
West Ham.
Where he was at fault and Robertson
was
looking,
West Ham. And then he scored the winner.
Virgil didn't even argue. He was like, no worries.
And then he goes and scores.
Went down the other end, bang. And then he just... I love that.
When you're in those situations, especially in the dying moments when you've got a corner, positions then don't matter anymore. No. It's purely about how high can you jump and how hard can you head the ball and who do you want.
Who wants it more?
That's what so when we had the Lyon game last season, we're 4-2 down. Positions became nothing. It was suddenly, right, Harry Maguire, you're staying up there. You are a striker. And then there's always the memes being like, oh, why did Amrin put Harry Maguire on there? Because positions at that point don't matter. No one cares. How tall are you? How much do you want that ball? And how high can you jump? That's all that matters in those scenarios.
And sometimes
Van
it's not
Dijk
even
is one of the
how tall the person is. It's the desire to win the ball. The minute the ball comes over, you can see Virgil saying, that's mine. And like you said, it brushes off my.
It's a hard header as well. It wasn't near goal.
Right in the corner.
Yeah, it was. I think he was 10 yards from goal or something.
It was a meeting of the mountains, and he's just headed it straight in.
Yeah, but so shout out to Virgil.
Shout out to him. But whilst and again, I'm looking down at Virgil celebrating with all the players. But I've got one eye here on the bench, and it was kicking off.
Yeah, you were telling me.
It was kicking off last night, and Simeone's got a bit of history at Anfield. He's obviously been successful, been unsuccessful. The first time he came, we had a great game and we lost 3-2. They went through. He's given it to the fans, and rightly so. That's fine. There's no qualms about that. It's football. If you win, do your thing. If we win, we get to do our thing. There's almost an unwritten rule, like an unshaken hand shake, where you go, you can act like that, but if it comes back to us, we get to do the same back to you. And again, when we went 2-0 up, he's right. That bench, especially in the Champions League, they take a row out, so you're even closer to the bench in the Champions League. There's rules and differences with the Champions League and the Prem. So obviously we're 2-0 up, we're giving it to him. I'm right on the other side, so I'm nowhere near it, but I can see it. And get back to 2-2, he's on the pitch. You know, he's going on like he scored himself. I think the fans were giving him a bit of stick because he kept coming out of his technical area. You know what he's like, he's so animated. And this is a guy, by the way, in the past who's got fined and banned for doing all this stuff in front of the Madrid fans, and he's no shrinking violet
when he was a player.
Exactly, he's no shrinking violet. You saw it happen with David Beckham in '98. And then when they get to 2-2, yes, rightfully, he's bang up for it. He's done well to get his team back into the game. But it gets to 3-2, and I'm sorry, you now can't go to the ref and go, he just swore at me. Because you've been...
Although, to be fair to him, when he was asked afterwards, he said that the whole game he was getting personal insults from Liverpool fans. He did say that.
I mean, of course, though. It's the cauldron. It's a Champions League night at Anfield.
No, I agree with you. Yeah.
And this is not just out of the blue last night. He's come a few times,
yeah,
and there's been
a
few bits and bobs. But so the timeline of events is he goes over to obviously retaliate, gets stuck into this fella, who I know of this guy, right? It's called John, and now he's all over. He is all over social media and loads of articles. Even it's made the papers today. He said, you know, middle fingers, we've won, hold that kind of vibes. And then the video is being filmed. Simeone goes up to him to do something. The stewards drag him away, and then a member of staff from the Atletico team throws a bottle at the direction of the fan, and then you thought, okay, well, he's definitely getting banned for that. He goes away, comes back and spits.
Yeah,
I think when you resort to spitting, and I don't think this was a player. This is a coach or a player, a member of the staff there.
That's a man of authority as well.
To come over and spit. I mean, Atletico says here on the BBC, Atletico are going to be investigated about this because, you know, they might get a fine, or they might,
as they should,
take on some kind of ban. I'm going to see it here. It says Atletico and UEFA to review spit footage during Liverpool game. They've launched an investigation into the mass confrontation that marred the Champions League loss, with a member of their background team appearing to spit into the crowd. And now the fella John who had that put a video out today saying he's a coward because I think the journalist said, you know, was there any untoward kind of almost war insults about the Falklands War?
Oh yeah, racism
which wasn't. I mean, you know, Liverpool and wars and the country, we're separated from that. We don't back what, you know, that kind of stuff. So there's no way that can have happened. But then he kind of walked away to almost leave it open for speculation, when actually you were giving it to the fans, they were giving it back to you. You didn't like it, so you got your mate to spit on them and throw a bottle.
No. You can't say he got his mate to spit on him. I'm sure that wasn't choreographed.
Okay, he didn't say go over there and spit on him, but he's his mate, and that's what he did.
Yeah, I mean he does. I mean, if you did that on the street, that is classed as common assault.
Yeah.
So there does need to be.
And if fan did it the other way around, fan would be banned for life from that stadium and everything.
But we saw that, unfortunately, in this country. Was it El Hadji?
Yeah.
By the way, he was a Liverpool player.
Yeah, well, mate, not in my eyes he wasn't. Hated him when he played for Liverpool. It's disgusting.
But anyway, yeah, so that is the act of spitting at somebody is one of the most disgusting things you can ever do to another person, in my view. So he should be, once they made the investigation, I mean, I saw the footage that you showed me. It definitely does look like he spat, although I didn't see phlegm come out of his mouth.
But you kind of see,
but he does make the motion, doesn't he?
I think you'd have to almost have like an 8K camera to see that coming out. But yeah, the motion is there.
The motion is one of
spitting. He kind of puts
although
his head forward.
I didn't see any projectile come from his mouth.
Yeah.
So he might say, look, I motioned, but I didn't actually... You know what I'm saying? People are always going to try and
I know, of course they are.
Switch up the narrative. But with regards to the Simeone thing, though... It's a little bit of handbags, really. There was no real scuffles. It was not like a punch was thrown. It was just him.
As a manager who's been managing Atletico Madrid for 14 years, and someone who spent, as we referenced before, his career basically being a bit of a rage baiter on the pitch, because he was. That's what he was, and it's how he's as a manager.
That's how he got Beckham sent off.
Yeah, you can't lose your head like that. You're like as we said before, before we recorded. Like, he's been in this job for 14 years. He's the highest paid manager in the world. Don't lose yourself like that. I know he is that kind of person, But like, it's at the entrance to a season. He's got sent off.
But what I'm saying,
he won't be
did
managing the next games.
he do anything that was really egregious though? Because there was a lot of stewards and between him and the
He should
actual
never have
crowd.
gone over
He shouldn't.
to the
No, he
fan.
shouldn't have done it. But I'm saying, to me, the spitting
Right
thing
above
is
that.
way worse than
Yeah.
what he did.
Oh no, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, for sure. I'm not saying.
But the spitting
that-
thing doesn't happen unless he goes over
Yeah.
to motion to the
Simeone
fan to
sets
say,
the
"I'm going to get
example.
you."
He's the manager both of that football team and also of all the coaches. He's the boss of those coaches as well. If you see your boss doing that, then like, or more to the point, if you see your boss not doing that, you're going to take example and not do it yourself.
True, but if
Simeone has
Alex
to
got
set
into a
st-
confrontation
yeah.
with somebody, right, and me and you were there and we were supporting Alex, I'm pretty sure, and I'm pretty sure about you, we wouldn't go and spit at somebody.
No, yeah, no.
So
the
what I'm
spitting
saying is-
obviously is terrible.
No, you
Yeah.
join in and try and help me if I needed it.
Exactly. So what I'm saying is, although there was a bit of argy-bargy going on, a good old argy-bargy.
Yeah, quite literally.
Yeah, that's true.
Quite literally this time.
Quite literally. It wasn't as egregious as some people are making up. By far, the worst thing that happened in that little melee was the guy spitting.
And throwing a bottle.
Yeah,
I mean,
and
it could have been
yeah.
a glass bottle. We don't know.
Did he throw it, or was he trying to
No,
push water towards?
The whole bottle goes out
Oh,
of
the
his
whole
hand.
bottle, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so he's got to be banned, that guy, because that was totally.
I mean, Simeone gets sent off, and again, I'm watching it. I've got in my camera, I zoomed in really close to when this was happening, and he's almost gesticulating to the lino, like, oh, he had his middle finger up, going, look, he's swearing at me. It's like, boy who cried
How
wolf
dare
for
they
me.
swear at me,
Yeah,
yeah.
you know, you were giving it at 2-2. Now you're losing. You're a sore loser. You know, Simeone.
But in a way, it was
relax,
spit
brother.
pantomime villain stuff, like I said.
Yeah, a little bit.
But it's
if
the
he's
other
going in
geezer that-
swinging, then it's a different story, isn't
the
it?
other geezer, he's the one that needs to have the book thrown at him.
Yeah.
Because and especially the way he did it was a little coward thing, innit? He just kind of nipped round the corner.
Because he'd thrown the water, gone.
And then come back.
It's like, come on,
no, he's bang
shocking.
out of order. Yeah.
Anish says, I can't imagine Laurie in a brawl. I can. You don't know Laurie well enough.
I've got them
unfortunately.
hands, bro.
He has got them hands.
Yeah.
He's looking good. He's looking in tip-top shape, I'll be honest.
Mind you, that was back in the day. Not
Yeah, he doesn't
I
condone
hasten
that
to
violence
add, I'm a
now,
lot
obviously,
older,
yeah.
More mature, more wise.
But yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it. I've
So
seen it
when
the
the
other
push
way.
comes to shove,
Don't get it
No, I've
twisted.
seen you lose your rag before, man. Trust me. Not with me. Shout out to Midnight Toker, says Simeone, aka the sausage. The old salchicha, as it were. Van Dijk is a big man in a weak era. Henri, Drogba, Eto'o and co would have owned him. I'm not sure
I'd love
about
to
that.
say that was true.
Would have been a good
but
matchup,
it would
but
have been a great
I better say
matchup.
Drogba versus Van Dijk is the matchup I'd like to see.
Yeah, that would have been good.
That would be.
would have been a good old scrap.
That'd be a good.
Because it's funny
Good
with
couple
Drogba,
games.
because I've always thought this about Drogba. Hear me out here. So Drogba, we all know that he's physically blessed, one of the strongest and most athletic forwards in recent years. He could also, when it suited him,
Oh,
he'd
go
go
down.
down like...
like
Crumble
a
like a
sack
roll.
of
Yeah.
spuds.
Remember that incident he had
It's the,
with...
it's the Chelsea
Lehmann.
strike away.
In the Carabao Cup final.
yeah, that's one of the funniest things I've ever
They
seen.
both went. They were
I
both
know.
at it though.
And then they got up and started
embarrassing.
hugging each other after
it's
that. It was crazy.
embarrassing.
But yeah, you know
Absolutely
what? I
embarrassing.
like that one, Dylan. Drogba versus...
Drogba Van Dijk would have been.
Can we think of any? Any others? Van Dijk might have...
Alan Shearer.
Yeah, that would have been...
That would have been a good scrap.
quite
Rooney.
naughty.
I think Rooney would have maybe
No, I
tucked
think
in a
Van
little
Dijk
bit.
would have...
Rooney would have
Yeah.
made it a brawl though. Is what Rooney would have
Do you know
done.
what though? Van Dijk can do that stuff as
Yeah,
well
I
if he
think-
needs to. He's got a nasty streak in him as well
Yes.
if he wants to.
Remember Van Dijk? Do that to me!
Yeah. Pick
That
on
was
someone
an
your own size.
Argentine, game as well, wasn't it?
Absolutely chested up. Was it Paredes?
Yeah.
He was. I think didn't Paredes smash the ball into the Holland
Yeah,
bench?
that's right, yeah.
So as they've all come on, Paredes is giving it to him, and Van Dijk just comes up behind him and goes, "Bop!" Little chest pump and sends
I
him
remember
flying.
that game, Kickers Dumfries. He went off of that, the whole bench.
Yeah, that was it. That was a.
Hey, I love them
That was a
things,
great
man.
game.
I love that.
That was a great game.
And must admit, you must have got a little bit of satisfaction out of that
Yeah.
yesterday, didn't you? Or even though you...
What yesterday?
yeah, come on. Because you've beaten them as
only
well.
because
to
I saw
rub it in even
only
more.
because I saw him get the red card. If he didn't get that, we would have felt like this justice hasn't been done here.
Yeah,
But he does what he does. We win the game. Plus the red card,
The
and
red card.
we send him packing. You know,
Like I
walking
said, it's a
down
bit
the
of
tunnel.
pantomime villain stuff.
It is a little bit. I remember when was it Arsene Wenger got sent off Old Trafford when he's standing there going.
Yeah, that's right.
Was that the 8-2 game?
No,
No, it wasn't the 8-2. No,
I
in the
remember
8-2
that,
he
and-
just
And they,
hung his head
the,
and
the pantomime villain stuff. He was the pantomime villain in that.
there was him and
moment.
Mourinho pushing and shoving each other.
That was true.
That was good.
Remember
yeah.
Mourinho and Wenger and Pardew.
Wenger and Pardew,
That was a good
yeah,
one as well,
yeah.
wasn't it? Conte and Tuchel
Yeah,
recently.
yeah.
I love it when
I love
That,
the Tuchel.
that handshake
Yeah,
video
yeah.
is amazing.
Well, actually, Simeone and Slot have got a history as well.
Really?
Feyenoord played against Atletico
Slot?
in 03. 2023, and it kicked off in that game. I think a few lads got sent off, but I remember Slot and Simeone on the pitch. So again,
You know
even
what it
though
is as well,
they've got
right? I
history,
think the Dutch, they like a little bit of argy
wind up.
don't they? Yeah,
they like a little wind up.
There's been a few Dutch players over the years that like a little bit of
Bergkamp liked a bit of that stuff as well.
Van Persie,
yeah.
you know what I mean?
There's a few more. Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank.
Jimmy Floyd,
loved
yeah,
a
he
bit
could
of a
take
kick
care
and a
of
shove.
himself. Yeah, there's a
For
few
sure.
Dutch players that like it. Remember Jan Wouter
No, I don't remember
elbowing
him.
Gaza? Broke his cheekbone actually in that game.
Oh yeah, no, that was
In the
nasty.
game,
I
yeah,
remember seeing that actually.
Yeah, the Dutch players are
Rudy
not shying coming
Voller?
forward. Yeah,
Ruud Gullit.
yeah,
Spit, that's another spitting one as well.
Oh, that was nasty.
Euro '88
Yeah,
or World Cup
spitting in
'90
each other.
maybe.
They both had the mullet.
And that was you saw the liquid come out of his mouth there.
Yeah, that was
he wanted to make sure everyone saw that.
That was
That was
nasty.
like a fireball
man.
of
The only
spit.
thing I would say about that is at least they were spitting at each other.
Yeah.
It wasn't a one-way thing.
Or a fan.
one spat in each other's hair, and then the other one did it. Oh, that was
It's grim, isn't
But
it?
yeah, the Dutch, man, they like a
Screaming.
bit of a. They like the old fucking raz, you know. What I mean?
Yeah, little handbags
Love
at
a
dawn.
rah.
Speaking of the Dutch, PSV lost to USG. Alexis McAllister's brother scored.
Oh, did he?
With his penis. I watched the highlights. He scored with his
much
penis.
information.
No, well, you can watch the highlight. He literally
With his
went.
groin. Why don't you
like
just
that.
say that?
It was more specific than
never
that. It was it was very specific area. It was on the line, so it was the only way you could do it. And it was,
Ingenious.
yeah, it was quite clever actually. Benfica 2, Karabag 3. What a result that is, by
That's
the way.
the game that got Bruno Lage sacked and has made Jose
Bruno, not
Mourinho
so
new
large.
manager of Benfica.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So large.
Olympiacos 0, Paphos 0.
By
Slavia
the way,
Prague
actually, also
2,
with the
Bodo
Benfica
Glimt.
result, you know that was Bruno Lage's first loss of the season. He's got
Was
like
it?
7 wins, 2 draws, 1 loss, and they sacked him.
That sounds to me then like
They'd lined it up.
Like they didn't
They'd
like him
lined it up.
anyway.
As soon as he loses, mate, he's out.
Yeah, he's gone, mate. Bayern 3, Chelsea 1. We spoke on that. Wasn't it mad for you guys to see Nico Jackson playing against Chelsea last night? I
It's a bit
thought there
weird.
would have been a
didn't see the
stipulation in
game.
his contract that said you
No,
can't play against us.
European games. So in the Premier League, the rules are that you can't play against your parent club unless your parent club gives explicit permission for that to happen. But in Europe, there's just no such rule.
Yeah, I'm glad about that as well. I
Yeah.
don't like all that stuff.
Because
If you-
we've played against. So when Dallo, for example, was on loan at AC Milan, we played them in the Europa League, and he played 2 legs against us. Like there's just because it's European, because there's no like domestic clashes really.
Yeah.
The clubs are generally like, there's no point putting this rule in. And
But
then
they
so if
must
it
have
does
known
happen,
they were
it just
playing
does
against
happen.
each other. They would have known the draw, wouldn't they?
Oh, that's true. They
I'm
would
against the rule full stop. I mean, at the end of the day, once he's no longer your player, that should be it.
even on loan, like you've
Yeah.
said to them, they can.
Well,
Yeah.
he
You don't
can
want
play
it.
against you. You mean?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
you're surplus to requirements for whatever reason. You play. It's all this. It's a bit like not celebrating this and those. I was having a discussion in the office today, weren't we, about
Yeah.
somebody not celebrate. Oh yeah, it was Garnacho.
We're talking about Garnacho
Yeah.
tomorrow on Saturday.
If he scores,
If he
yeah.
scores,
Yeah.
I mean, I know we're leaping ahead, but if he scores, why can't he celebrate? I mean,
True.
he was surplus to requirements at United. He's not a United player anymore. Done.
Absolutely. Another big result for the current European champions, PSG, Dylan. 4-0 win against Atalanta. I mean, I watched the goals as well. Some finishes in amongst those. PSG have started well again. Goal difference is actually very important in this kind of era that we're in of the Champions League. 4 goals.
Phase, for sure.
And you can't really get a better start to defend your trophy than that, can
Well,
you?
because as well, they won the Champions League, were pronounced, bona fide best team in Europe at the moment, and then went and lost the Club World Cup final, got thoroughly pumped by Chelsea. So coming back, they need to start strong. Because realistically, Europe is where we as kind of non-French football fans, that's where we see PSG. We don't, a lot
But
of
I
people
would
don't
say,
necessarily
though,
watch League
as
One.
well as Chelsea played that day, we shouldn't be under any illusions as to who the best team in Europe really are.
No, I know, but
that might offend some
it's
Chelsea
just
fans,
it's
which
just
is
the perception of
Oh, yeah.
get after kind of PSG, like, because in the build up to that game, everyone was like, well, Chelsea are done. Chelsea, like Paris Saint-Germain, are going to rip them apart, and then it was the other way around. Chelsea were flawless.
Yeah,
in
they
that
were
game,
brilliant
and
that
PSG
day.
just got dismantled.
But I don't
so
think
coming
there's too
back
many
in
people-
4-0 win, I think was much needed, especially after the controversy of Gianluigi Donnarumma won you the Champions League by just with his performances. You've then ditched him, and then he's gone to Man City, but they've managed to keep a clean sheet, got the results, got the 4 goals. So it's a good statement of intent from them
Yeah,
to
absolutely.
be like, we are still here and we're still good.
Yeah, and again, Gonzalo Ramos coming off the bench. They've got the fella Mayulu up top with Barcola, Kvaratskhelia, Neves, Vitinha and Ruiz in the midfield is just so balanced, isn't it?
And what I
There's not
like
much
about
that can get
PSG
through
as
there.
well is that the brand of football that they play is very good to watch. So
Very direct as well.
yeah.
Luis
Always.
Enrique was my top choice years ago for United manager. I think he's
Did you see
stunning
where he
manager.
sat for the game?
Yeah, he was up in the first half like in a rugby game, and then the second half was down by the touchline.
He wanted to kind of see
I've
the
seen other
game
managers do that.
from a better tactical
Yeah, who
kind
else
of
did, he
viewpoint.
did that in the Premier League for a few seasons?
Well, but it's been before where like Tuchel's had a touchline ban and things, so he's stood up there. And
So
some
you have
managers
to
have had
go up,
touchline
yeah.
bans, so they can't be by the side, but they've been sat up top. I mean, it may have happened a couple of times voluntarily.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But
I've
generally,
seen
I think it's been touchline bans.
get an aerial view and then come. Interesting.
Interesting. The other score of note in that night was Ajax 0 Inter Milan 2.
That surprised me, that one.
Thuram with 2 finishes. I mean, pretty much identical goals. I don't know if you saw them. 2 headers. 5
When we
minutes
did our
after each
predictions
other.
for that game, I was predicting strongly. I said Ajax very strong at home. Amazing crowd, amazing home. And then I thought, yeah, they'd win. But then they were quite comprehensively beat.
Certainly were 2-0 in the end. Johnny says AGT and Laurie may be insufferable at times, but they seem to be the hardest workers on DR Sports.
Well, that's facts.
Grafters.
I'll be
Facts.
honest, I think it is facts, man.
Some people are putting in the comments there that I live in, which isn't too
Mate,
far
me and
from
you
the
both,
truth.
we might as well plot
Home
up.
from home.
Prytash says, big up to Laurie for sticking up for Liverpool and saying they weren't lucky against Burnley.
But you know what it is, right? Thanks for the compliment. But it wasn't even so much I'm sticking up for Liverpool.
No, just being real.
It's just being real. And not only that, I've got to say this as well. We have been accused of the same such thing in the past, and I've defended Arsenal. So I think it was only right for me to be true to my thoughts and defend Liverpool, because it's not luck, is it? Again, luck was last night luck. Van Dijk, we just spoke about how the man made that his own. Was that luck? Did he think, just come off the top side? No, the minute the ball came over, Van Dijk was always going to make that
I'd
his
maybe put the Robertson goal in the category of luck. That one, I
Yeah.
think, potentially. But the last minute win.
But to win the game,
good
I
header.
mean, you could say it was very unlucky for Liverpool that the first goal for them was allowed to stand when Griezmann was standing in the eye line of Alisson for that. I can't believe that.
I think
stood
what
that
I'm
goal.
going against as well is this sort of notion that some fans have that if you score like late in the game, like 85th, 90th, 90, whatever, it's luck. No, it's not. It's
persistence.
The game
Train
ends
for that.
when the referee blows a whistle. You know what I'm saying? So if you score late, then that probably means A, you're fitter than the other team, mentally you're more attuned to what's going on.
Yeah.
And C, it could be the result of some brilliant piece of skill, as it was with
Szoboszlai.
yeah, exactly. So there's nothing lucky about that. People who say that, I'm sorry, you need to give your head a wobble, mate. Seriously.
There you
But
go.
anyway.
Laurie has said it. It's facts. It must be. Next up then, Newcastle, Barcelona, turning our attention to tonight's Champions League games. This one is one that is steeped in its own bit of history when you look back at the
By the way,
amazing
just
games that
before
they
we
had in the
move on,
past.
I meant to ask you this before.
One more.
But, Isak, how did he get on in his debut?
Do you know what? It was a big shock that he started the game. As we kind of, got our steps in to get down to the ground, the rumours started swirling around that he was starting the game, and I think
I was shocked.
I've never been so excited to see a team sheet last night. I've actually got the official team sheet in my bag over there from last night, because I was like, I need to keep this because it says Alexander Isak on it, number 9 for Liverpool. The first thing he did
he
I
live up
think,
to
was
billing?
win. He had 2 shots and a few really clever, tidy touches. He got clamped as well by Lenormand as well, clamped on his ankle a few minutes into it. And I think he's thinking, right, 2-0 up after 6 minutes, I'm definitely scoring, I'm going to get a chance. But he managed to fashion a couple of chances through even against the low block which they set up with last night. But yeah, he looked sharp. He looked ready to go. It was actually surprising to see him carry on in the second half. I thought it was just a 45-minute swap with Ekitike, but bro, he every single thing he did, it was like, oh my god, what's he just sharp. But I think as well what we're seeing with Waltemada, Ekitike, I haven't seen it necessarily in the Prem live yet with Sesko, but these guys, they're 6'5", but their feet are so quick.
Yeah.
Considering how tall they are. I know there's the cliche thing, good feet for a big man. But his feet are rapid, and he kind of drops the shoulder, whips one in, just goes past the post, so sharp. I just can't wait to see the rest of it, man. Every game that we play now, we're going to have Isak and Ekitike as options. It's unbelievable.
I'm with you on that. When I heard he was starting, I was shocked, because I thought I could understand if they start him and bring him off, but I more thought it was going to be a case of they're going to bring him on later as a kind of.
Well, I think that might have been the plan, like 45 minutes you were saying before. But Slot said after the game he was surprised about how fit Isak is, and he's been surprised in training about the guy is fit and sharp, considering that he's not had a pre-season. Obviously, he will have been training all day, every day. Anyway, with personal trainers, but not training with a team. Not training with a team is very different.
Not their personal trainers.
Yeah, not their personal. It'll be his own personal trainers. But not training with a team does have an effect compared to just training by yourself. But yeah, Slot said he was very surprised. So I assume he won't start on the weekend. I assume Ekitike might come back in and Isak will come off the bench. But I think maybe for now it's, remember when Ramsdale and Raya were both together? It was initially Ramsdale was in the Premier League and Raya was playing in the Champions League. And then eventually the balance happened and then Raya took over. It might be the same case with him and Ekitike for at least a few weeks. At least maybe into the international break. Ekitike is in the Premier League because he's suited, he's hit the ground running in the Premier League. And then Isak gets time.
Have you paid all that money though to...
No, but it's just kind of like betting him in. I think this weekend I assume Ekitike will start, then Isak may start in the Champions League again, and then Slot will then, for the next weekend, then at the time will then go, who do I want to play? Because maybe then he thinks Isak still needs another game off the bench, just kind of take it game by game. But
I hear that, but I would be surprised if Isak's not starting most of these games, man. I mean, you don't pay that amount of money. Record, how much was it?
130, wasn't it?
Yeah, to sit him on the bench.
No, but he's not a bench player, we know that, but it's just about bedding him in.
Yeah, I think he's going to find it very strange maybe to come into a team where, even though you're the £135 million man, we have got an £85 million man there as well who also needs minutes. So I just think it's about how do you balance it. Is there a way you can play two? If one rests, one has to come in and vice versa.
What's going to happen though, like say with Liverpool? It'll be interesting to see how this pans out. You've got Ekitike, Salah, Isak. Now, if they're all in the same team and these chances come, do you think if one's through on goal they're going to pass to the other one?
Well, time will tell.
Well, that's up to Slot to
remember
drill
we saw
into
that with
them.
Mane and Salah.
Team.
Remember?
Yeah, I think with Hugo, he's got to learn off Isak, but also use each other as sounding boards and have each other as competition. If Isak's firing them in, then Ekitike won't be starting. But if there's just constant pressure, constant in-house competition, which I think is a healthy thing, man.
If Slot can manage that would be.
Well, I think that will be the marker now for Slot. How do you deal with having these two in the same team? Are you going to keep them both happy for a year? Will it be 2 years, 3? We'll see. Anyway, Newcastle, Barcelona, as I said, a bit of history between these two as well. They've played each other 4 times in the Champions League. So far, Barcelona have 3 wins opposed to Newcastle's 1. The one win that Newcastle did get was in 1997, and it was a Tino Asprilla hat-trick.
Yeah, I remember that.
For Newcastle, the Colombian international, who definitely made some headlines off the pitch as well. But the scorers
the oversized shirts and the somersault.
Yeah. But Barcelona scorers that night, Luis Enrique, Luis Figo, in a 3-2 defeat.
Oh, wow.
And then they played each other in the second leg, which Barcelona won, but Newcastle went through. Barca went through on away goals. And then Barca did play them again in 2002, beat Newcastle 3-1, and then they came back to St James's Park 2002, and they won 2-0. So again, Patrick Kluivert used to play for Barcelona, was scoring that night for them with Riquelme, Mendieta, Xavi, Victor Valdez in goal, Ian Rush even on the bench in the 97 game. Yeah, he did. Yeah. So, what do you think this game holds? What can we expect? And by the way, there is no Lamine Yamal.
Yeah, I was about
injured.
to mention that.
Balde, Gavi also missed the trip. Rashford likely to start this game tonight, Laurie.
Wow.
We'll get your opinion on that. And Walter Mada will make his Champions League debut for Newcastle. We know the high line that Barca employ, but they've got a short defensive line there sometimes as well. Should Barcelona be worried about Newcastle, or should Newcastle be worried about Barcelona?
I think there's jeopardy on both sides.
Right.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that game.
Remember Newcastle PSG 2 years ago? Newcastle, what was it, 4-0? I think it was 4-1.
Yeah.
But St James's Park, not an easy place to go.
Well, I heard the Barcelona manager saying that I'm not sure if he thinks that, or he said he was being told that the atmosphere at Newcastle was probably going to be the best they'd ever come up against outside of Spain, obviously.
Yeah, well, consider the context of the game. You've got Newcastle, obviously, after the turbulent summer they've had, and the whole Isak thing as well, and they've got Walter Mada up front, because I'm assuming he'll be starting. He scored on his debut, that's really good. You want to keep the momentum going. And it's like Champions League nights at St James's Park are so special for Newcastle because they've become such a rarity in the last decade. Now that Champions League is back again, this season for them, it's going to be a really, really interesting game.
Do you think, question to both of you, do you think Newcastle have the best home atmosphere
Well, I was there a couple of weeks ago. I was there. It's top 2 or 3 I've seen for sure.
I think top 3 are Newcastle, Liverpool, and United. When United are doing well, I think we do, like, because
used to, not anymore.
I'd say Everton's better than United.
I'm thinking about our Europa League run last season.
It's not a cauldron, mate.
No, so the United, because we've been so poor, like in games like the Burnley game, for example, it's so,
even
so
before
meh.
that.
But because I'm just thinking about our Europa League run, right? So that Lyon game, we may have scored 3 goals in the last couple of minutes, but it's the fans that won that game. The atmosphere was incredible that game. I think we can get it up
United
there.
a few times, even before your implosion now. The atmosphere is good, but it's not next level.
The average atmosphere at United has gone down big time because we keep losing all the time. But I think I'm talking at its peak. So I'm talking St James's Park against Barcelona, Liverpool when you had those the Dortmund comebacks ages ago in the Europa League and the Champions League runs, and United at its peak. I'm talking like at their very best. Average at the moment, it's a bit flat. It can be because we're losing all the time. But so you may be talking about like the average atmosphere. I'm thinking about at their absolute peaks.
Right. Okay.
I think those 3 are.
I think Anfield is. There was an Anfield night. I don't know. You're bound to say that, though, aren't you? Right.
I mean, I was there last night. I was at Newcastle recently. 2 of them.
I would say Newcastle tops yours.
In your opinion, yeah. I mean, honestly, it's one of the most loudest atmospheres I've ever seen when I was at Newcastle a couple of weeks ago. But
everyone says that.
We got the win, so they weren't very loud after, including Matty Renton. Anyway, big up to him.
I hope Rashford starts tonight.
Matty Renton actually is having a baby tonight, and it might actually happen.
That's in Roy Keane's words. Is he having the baby?
No, he's not having the baby.
But is he having
his missus who's having the baby?
Oh, congratulations!
And he reckons it's going to happen as the game's on. So I don't
even
know
if
I don't know, because her water broke last night apparently. Wow. So it could be tight, touch and go.
Well, I hope big up Matty Renton.
Yeah,
I hope it goes well. Of course. And, I hope it happens in time for you to go to the game, if that's possible.
I mean, if it happens before and you still go to the game, I don't know if she'll be happy with that, lad. But we'll see, man. Big up. Score prediction then. Newcastle, Barcelona, please.
I'm going to go safe with this. I'm going to go draw 1-1.
I was going to say 2-2 or 3-2 to Newcastle.
Yamal's
that's what I was about to ask you. How big a plus is it for Newcastle to walk through that tunnel, look across, and there is no Lamine Yamal?
Well, on current form, he's probably one of, if not the best player in the world.
One of, yeah.
So I think that's a big miss for Barcelona.
I mean, they're still looking through, and you've got Lewandowski stood there. You've got like Jules Koundé is still there. You've got Fermin Lopez, who was like £60 million linked to Chelsea.
Rashford,
he's a great player. Rashford as well, if he starts and if he's on form, we know that Rashford can be fantastic, but he's been spotty the last 18 months. So you never know what Rashford's turning up. And Rashford's against Trippier as well, who's not the quickest.
Right, but if there's one player in that Barca squad who can almost communicate to the boys, whether that's through English, Catalan, Spanish, or a mix of a translation, if there's one lad in that Barca squad that goes, right, this is how you deal with Newcastle, this is how you quiet down the crowd, it's Marcus Rashford.
It is, yeah.
And
he's
especially going up against Trippier as well. I mean, that's his England
and let's
team,
be honest, you mentioned Lewandowski, and don't get me wrong, he's been a great player. Right, no doubt about it, and he's still getting goals, but I don't think he'll frighten that Newcastle.
No.
The man that would have frightened them, that would have put the fear in them, is not playing. So
I'm going to bring up Lewandowski's stats so far. This season, 3 games, 2 goals. Last season, 42 goals in 52 games under Hansi Flick. Season before that, I think, was a bit low. Let me double check.
But you know what I'm saying?
24.
He's not at his peak, is he?
26 and no, he's not in his peak.
The one man that
he's
would
still
have
an incredible striker.
Yeah, I said that. I said he's been a great player, but he's no longer at the peak of his powers. The person, and don't get me wrong, he deserves respect. Absolutely, he does. But my point is, the one player that would genuinely instill fear into the hearts of the Newcastle fans and players
it's
is Yamal, and he's not playing. So that's a big boost for Newcastle.
No, I hear that.
The reason why he's not playing, he got injured with Spain. There was a quote just on screen here from Barcelona manager Hansi Flick, who said even when they were winning the game, can we get that back up? There we go. No, still not there. Just get it up in a sec, then I'll try and remember it. He said they were giving him painkillers, even when they were winning the game. It makes him very sad and very upset. It sparks up that club v country kind of debate. There it is. Spain gave him painkillers, and even when they were winning, they made him play. This is not taking care of the players. I'm very sad about this. So, in his opinion, he can blame Spain for Lamine Yamal not playing tonight.
Especially a player such a young player as well. He's just turned 18. Yeah, he's 18 and a bit. Like, he's still growing into his
When
body.
you say painkillers, what, painkilling injections or tablets?
I would say injections.
I'm assuming he's not talking about ibuprofen.
Yeah, it's not going to really do much, is it?
A few paracetamol or Nurofen is not really going to have an adverse effect, is it?
Absolutely not. What was your score prediction?
Either 2-2 or 3-2 Newcastle. I'm looking at Newcastle's midfield and thinking Newcastle's midfield is so strong. Because I've got the predicted lineups here just on FOTMob, and you've got Pedri, Casado and Lopez is their predicted midfield. But then I look at Joelinton, Tonali and Guimarães,
who are going to be bang up for it.
Yeah,
I reckon 2-1 Newcastle tonight.
Yeah, you know what? Now that Yamal's playing and you've gone through those teams, and with the home support, I am kind of, although I think Rashford will be looking
I think he'll
have
goals.
Something to prove.
There'll be goals. Rashford he's back on UK TV, realistically. Big
He'll
big
get a
viewership
nice reception
first time
from the crowd as well.
He will not. He will not get a good reception.
How's he doing there, by the way? Jury seems to be out.
It's been hit and miss so far, but he's still getting up to speed, I think.
It's a bit like Trent, isn't it? I mean,
Rashford has a lot to prove because Villa didn't sign him. He was good at points at Villa, but then Villa forewent the option to sign him. He wants to stay at Barcelona. Like, Barcelona's always been a club he wants to play at if he wasn't at United. There, He will be, and he wants to prove to them that they should activate the £25-30 million buy option they've got. Because there's no conditions in it to make it an obligation or anything.
And he's the kind of player, man, that could turn it on tonight.
Yeah, 1 assist in 4 games in the league so far for Marcus Rashford. Again, like you say, this is a great stage tonight for him to actually go, I'm ready for the big matches at Barcelona. If Yamal's out, I'm the guy to step forward. That's what he's been brought in for, let's be honest. He's not to replace Yamal, he's to be there when there is an injury.
He does have that in his
So who scores then for Barca tonight?
Probably Rashford.
You going with
Rashford,
him,
Lewandowski.
I'm still going 1-1. I'm going to save my original prediction, but I do think it's going to be a very good game.
Also, we haven't mentioned Rafinha.
Yeah,
another great winger. He's their captain now, I believe, isn't he?
He is.
And he's been on fire.
Barca through and through. Manchester City versus Napoli. Kevin De Bruyne returns, I should say, to the Etihad. Scott McTominay and Højlund come back to Manchester as well to face previous enemies. But Manchester City, as we know, face Arsenal on the weekend. They do have injury issues. Will we see a rotated team against Napoli with that big game on the horizon as well?
Who is the injury concerns?
Well, there's a lot. There's a lot, and I can read them out for you now.
I'm so looking forward to this game. This is the one that I've picked to watch tonight.
Really?
This game, yeah.
Barca and Newcastle.
No, I want to watch this game.
Shirky, Marmoush, Kovacic, Nuri, John Stones all out.
Wow. No, I heard John Stones was back.
Potentially for this one, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, there you go, might be back.
He was out on the weekend against United. But no,
Yeah.
I'm like, I want to see, because Rasmus Højlund scored on his debut for Napoli, obviously, and he will be starting because Lukaku's out. I want to watch Scott McTominay again. I want to see De Bruyne.
From your point of view,
I want to see, for me, and I want to see De Bruyne back at the Etihad, see how that goes. Because De Bruyne as well. I don't know if you've seen the photos of him in the last month or so. He looks like he's 27 again, 26 again. I don't know what they're doing in Napoli. It might just be all the olive oil. Everyone knows olive oil, the olive oil and the lovely pizzas in the sunshine. But Rasmus Højlund he's scoring 14 minutes into his debut. Scott McTominay is basically a god there now. He's been immortalised in murals around the city.
Serie A Player of the Year last year.
Serie A Player of the Year.
Yeah,
Kevin De Bruyne is just obviously just from the photos looks good and has been so far playing well. I just and Antonio Conte is always entertaining. That's my pick. That's my pick tonight for the games.
I can see why, because of the United.
I'll put Newcastle Barcelona on my iPad
because of the United connection. I can see that.
Yeah.
But for me, the tie of the round is the tie of the round. The
tie of the night.
Tie of the night.
It's got to be Newcastle Barca for me. What do you reckon?
I'd have to side with you. I think, I understand your perspective because you want to see Højlund and you want to see Scott McTominay going back, try and do some damage on the team that's just smoked you.
That's the thing.
I understand that.
That could be.
But I think for the neutral, the one who doesn't have a dog in the fight when it comes to Manchester, Newcastle Barca has got all the ingredients for spoils, for thrills, for drama, for goals, for red cards. Intimidating atmosphere, as we've said. So I think it's Newcastle Barcelona as well. Score predictions for the City game.
City. Right.
Don't forget, poor
Napoli.
Champions League campaign for City last year.
Yeah.
2-1 Napoli.
2-1 Napoli.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to
Scott
go
McTominay box crashing. This is me just willing this, by the way.
Yeah, I think City edge it, to be honest.
City defensively, even against us, looked frail.
They did.
They've got Haaland. Haaland will do something. He'll probably score. But City haven't looked good at the back all season.
I'm not sure how I want to predict that because we got them on Sunday. So do I want them to lose before? But then
I don't think it matters.
Or
them winning or losing won't have any effect about how they play you on the weekend.
Confidence-wise, it might do.
Robbie made
if they lose, they'll have a point to prove. If they win, they keep momentum going. Either way, they're going to try and beat you.
Robbie made a salient point on the show earlier. He said Arsenal obviously played the early kickoff on a Tuesday, have till Sunday to R&R. But then Manchester City, they're playing on a Thursday night, and then they've got to go to the Emirates on Sunday. I mean, look, the fixture makers wouldn't have done that on purpose, knowing any agendas, but it's a big advantage.
Big advantage.
Because how many days?
I'm not sure if it's a big
days.
advantage.
So it's 2 more days.
If we were knee deep into the season, then I could say. But
it's a significant enough difference that it does definitely give you at least half a leg up. I know, you had to travel away whilst they're at City. I know. It's significant.
You're saying half a leg.
2 days rest, 2 extra days rest after physical exercise. It's big. That is big. But then if they rotate while you played your full defence and midfield for 90 minutes anyway, then it may balance out. But regardless, 2 days is no small amount of time.
Wednesday, I mean, you probably had a rest day, the players, on Wednesday getting back from Spain, but you would have trained Thursday, Friday, maybe a light session on Saturday, game on Sunday. They're coming into this on Friday, maybe a light day. Probably a light day on Saturday, and then they have to travel to
listen, we are at an advantage, but I'm not sure if it's as radical as Dylan's putting it.
I didn't say it was radical. I said it was half an egg.
It's early into the season, so it's not like the players are tired.
I didn't say it was radical at all.
No, but you seem to. Arsenal.
Because as Alex said, it's 2 days extra preparation. And
it does
2 days
count.
extra rest.
I think it does count.
It really counts.
I don't know about a leg. I mean,
and I'm trying to give you an advantage here. By the way, you should be happy about this.
But we got an advantage. We're the better team. We've got a better squad, and it's the Viking derby.
Better win than.
It's the Viking.
Yeah, I was about to say you've very much put it all on the line.
Haaland versus
Gyökeres.
No, Gyökeres. We're at home. Gyökeres
you
versus
better win
Haaland.
then, boy.
No, I think you will. I'm looking forward to the game. Listen, if they get lumps kicked out of them by Napoli and
Then you'll be thankful.
Yeah, we'll be thankful. But I honestly don't think we need it. I'm confident anyway.
Okay, so that game we'll preview it on the Thursday show. But have we done our score predictions for this? City Napoli?
Yeah, I've gone City 2-1.
2-1?
Yeah, I've said 2-1 Napoli.
2-1 Napoli.
City are at home.
2-2. Why not? A bit of an entertaining one. Other games include Club Brugge versus Monaco. Looks like Paul Pogba could make his long-awaited re-entrance into the Champions League tonight.
I'm pleased to see Pogba back.
Yeah, me too, actually. Me too. I'm quite happy to see him back.
He's had a hard time of it.
Copenhagen versus Leverkusen, Sporting Lisbon versus Kairat, and Eintracht Frankfurt versus Galatasaray. 2 sets of fans, by the way, that will be going at each other.
Mental fans.
On and off the pitch, let me tell you. And then it's obviously Newcastle, Barcelona, City and Napoli as well. And that rounds up the preview, the recap, whatever you want to call it, of the Champions League show here on DR Sports Live at 5. I hope you've enjoyed the show. Smash that like button to let us know that you have. Get your comments in. How did your team fare in the Champions League this week? Don't forget, tomorrow you back on the 5 o'clock show?
Live at 5.
Live at 5 tomorrow. Love to see it. Laurie?
I'm back on as well.
Good to see it. And you're also doing the watch along for AFTV on Sunday?
Yes, I am. Yeah,
so make sure you catch him on that.
Super Sunday.
Yes, but I think the next time you see me, if my calculations are correct, is Monday. Because the Saturday football show is Abby's this week because I'm at the Merseyside derby. So looking forward to that. 2-0 Liverpool.
Yeah, I think you win.
2-0. I'd love that. Absolutely. Dylan, big up. Thank you once more.
Very much.
All the best to you, sir. And Laurie, as always, big up.
Thank you. Yeah.
Guys at home, I hope you've enjoyed it. Like I said, show us that you have. Get the likes and get the comments in. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. As we slowly creep up to 500,000 subscribers. I think that's quite important to say on DR Sports. So help us out to get there. See you soon. All the best.